Good morning.
The James Ann Lynch Character Award was developed in the summer of 2010 by the school's PTO to honor her as the founding principal of Lake Carolina Elementary. Dr. Lynch, now Dr. Sheely, opened Lake Carolina Elementary in August of 2002 and served as principal for 8 years. She then became director of elementary schools in Lexington 1 for 5 years and is now back in Richland 2, serving as the Chief Planning and Initiatives Officer. Under her direction, the school incorporated life skills and lifelong guidelines as the character education philosophy of the students and staff. This has permeated the culture here at Lake Carolina and in our daily lives. Since Dr. Sheely consistently modeled and encouraged the life skills and lifelong guidelines during her tenure at LCE, this award celebrates a student who does the same. At this time, I will read the essay that was written by the recipient, which explains what the life skills of courage looks like. What courage is. What is courage? Courage can be many things in any one. Courage is when you risk yourself for someone else without thinking of the consequences. It can be as simple as asking a new kid that has no friends to recess or lunch, or speaking up for what's right. These and many other things show courage. Courage in risking your life. Many people from all countries risk their lives to save others, like men who save their friend or even people they don't know. When a life and death situation in school or on the street happens and you jump without thinking to save a friend or even someone you don't know, that's courage. Thinking of others before yourself is courage. No, if you're thinking that courage is just saving lives, then boy, you're wrong. Courage in school. Say you're sitting with your friends at school and you notice someone at a table alone. Well, then you should do the right thing and go sit with him and ask him some questions and become his or her friend. Maybe try and see if some of your friends to come hang out with you and your new friend. This shows bravery because even though kids may laugh at you and do the right thing to make the new kid feel good, you do the right thing to make the new kid feel good. Now let's see how speaking up for what's right shows bravery. Courage while speaking up for what's right. Do you know the man Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.? Well, if you do, then this man spoke for what's right despite the danger it put him in. Speaking up for what's right can also be when you're standing up for someone being bullied or saying the right things despite the consequences. You also don't have to be very well known to do what's right. Even though you might not know it, you have probably spoken up for what's right before. Speaking for what's right is courageous and something anyone can do. In conclusion, you learn that courage can show by something big, like risking your life, or something as simple as speaking up for what's right. Making a kid with no friends feel good. Courage is something anyone can do, and you should try to do it. Now I would like to present to you Dr. Sheely.
Good morning. It's always such an honor to be back with you. I absolutely love Lake Carolina. I love Lake Carolina community. And I'm just always humbled and a little weepy when I walked in his doors because this was my home for 8 years. In 2002, I was principal at North Springs, and I got a phone call from Dr. Stephen Hefner, who asked me to come in and talk with him. If you've ever gotten a phone call from your boss out of the middle of nowhere, you get a little bit anxious, and I could have used that life skill of courage at that point. And I rode over to the district office, and he asked me if I would help open Lake Carolina. And I have to say, those were the beginning of 8 years of the most wonderful professional time of my entire career. I'll always cherish that time. I'll always be thankful to our parents who bonded together and really helped us to be who we are today, who really treasured and valued those life skills. So I'd like this morning to congratulate our recipient who, again, that was one of the most well-written pieces of work I've heard. If you really listen carefully, you heard about life skills, you heard about people who we want to grow up and emulate. Very, very powerful. So please join me this morning in congratulating Mr. Jared Kline.